Hello guys, I hope you are all well. I haven't been able to upload consistently. 9 to 5 has been killing my ass. But then we are back down, and so let's immediately jump into it. We are on episode 2 of To Kill a Monkey. Quick recap of episode 1. We met our main character, a middle-aged man called Ife, a man who has been struggling and dealing with poverty all of his life. Not for a lack of trying, but simply because things haven't worked out for him. His wife just had twins, mother-in-law on his neck, and all that. Had to prostitute himself to his boss just to pay his bills. So in the last episode, we left off where Efe had met Oboz, an old acquaintance of his. Efe practically saved his life many years ago, and so he's very pleased to see him again. The episode ended with Oboz inviting Efe to come work for him. And so episode 2 kicks off with Efe visiting Oboz's home. Guys, listen to this.
See, chic like my wife. Yeah, shy is well.
I just love this guy. We meet his wife, Idia, a very nice, welcoming couple. They have this ghetto love going on. The women excuse themselves and he sits with Oboz. Efe is initially hesitant to talk, but then with Oboz's encouragement, he recounts to him how much he's suffered over the years, to the extent of which he even has to pretend he works overnight at times because he's ashamed to come home with nothing in his pockets. A sad and painful reality for millions, and I dare say billions of people across the world. May God protect all of us from poverty. And so Efe begs Oboz to help him out with work, where Oboz asks him intently if he's sure he can do the type of work he does. And then Efe swears up and down that he can do anything. The women upstairs too connect, and raise a glass to new friendships. I swear Oboz and his wife have the same personality, just genuine, real people. I just love them. Okay, so Boss the boss, it takes Efe to an office where young people are busily typing away on computers. With our innocent, hope-filled Efe very visibly pleased with what he's seeing. Here, Oboz then asks Efe about the fake document business he apparently used to operate, to which Efe says he stopped doing this business a long time ago. Shockingly not, Oboz is disappointed by this answer. He then asks Efe again if he can trust him.
You sure say if you trust him?
To which Efe swears up and down and invokes God's punishment if he ever betrays him. And so Oboz then reveals the true face of his business. What we'd seen earlier when they walked into the space was just the front. So through a secret door, he hands Efe a mask. And here we see it. Numerous young people, men and women behind machines. From the conversations and from the activities, we hear and we see that it's obviously an online romance scamming business. And so when they return home, to Oboz's home, Oboz then asks Efe, who he calls Brother Lee, what he thinks. Efe says, he's forever grateful for Oboz's kindness, but then doesn't want to be involved in this type of work. Oboz is heavily offended by this, taking it as Efe rejecting his hand of friendship.
Reject my hand of friendship.
However, he reluctantly lets it go and takes it as his debt to Efe for saving his life paid. And so back at home, Efe's wife is very displeased. Efe simply told her the job offer didn't work out. They have an argument,
If I'm not a wife, I'm a mother. If I'm not a mother, and they follow you, share husband responsibility.
Something I don't think any man ever wants to hear. I sometimes wish people would just talk things out honestly and openly. If Efe had simply told her honestly what had happened, this probably wouldn't be happening. But then again, he can't because he gave his word to Oboz. So an impossible situation really, trying to be a good person in a difficult world. Efe and his wife make up the next day. They may be poor, but then they have a very beautiful marriage. And so Nosa calls Idia, asking if there's anything else they could offer Efe since the job didn't work out. Where Idia then tells Nosa that Efe was the one who rejected the offer. And so Efe's day is even sadder than before.
Madam, sorry. I forget biscuit.
Remember, he's lost his waiting job, and so he goes for an interview, which I don't think worked out because the next thing we see is him in front of his sugar boss lady.
I locked her.
So she uses him, for what she wants him for, after which she refuses to reinstate him and throws him out of the office. At this point, I don't even know what Ife is supposed to do because everything just doesn't seem to work out for him. And so Ife returns home soaked in the rain and finds his oldest daughter has returned. Apparently, she lives with her uncle and his wife, and her uncle wanted to sleep with her. Ife is initially concerned with the number of mouths to feed in the house, but then his wife insists their daughter stays so that she can help out with the babies as well when she needs to work. Ife, however, says he doesn't want his wife working as the kids are too young. And to this she says,
Well, if you found a job or took the one that boss offered you, I wouldn't need to.
oh my god. Yeah, the babies continue to cry incessantly, aggressively. The reason for this being the wife is unable to produce enough milk due to hunger, and also them being unable to afford formula to supplement. Guys, what kind of situation is this? Seriously. So Ife, upon hearing this, seems to have hit his breaking point. In the rain, he rushes to Oboz's home.
He never even reached 24 hours.
He tells him he's ready to do whatever is necessary. And just to note, we see here a cut to Nosa seriously crying in bed. Like, I don't know why she's crying. Yes, she's patient and all, but then she also keeps making little jabs and snacky comments. What did you expect? Like, I don't get it. What does she want? Anyways, back to Ife. Oboz refuses to bring him on, and so Ife, desperate, proposes to him a new system he's devised, one that is going to use advanced AI to elevate Oboz's online scamming business to a whole new level. Ife walks the uneducated Oboz through the system and how it works.
Have you heard of artificial intelligence?
This guy is just funny. Oboz agrees. Oh, and do you remember the EFCC lady who lost her family? Yeah, we see her again in the hospital, where she's suffering from hallucinations of her family and severe mental stress, so it seems she's receiving treatment for this. And so the following day, Ife brings up the issue of his cut of the new venture. Oboz, who believes he is helping Ife, wants to pay him as a worker, so keep him on a salary. He proposes to Oboz that they do a split for a partnership, to which Oboz, the boss, with his huge ego, feels insulted, but then very, very hesitantly, he agrees to a partnership, about 25-70%. Yeah. He then asks Ife again if he can trust him. The third time he's done this, to which Ife answers in the affirmative.
I'll ask you that question I asked you before. If he trust you, if he trust me.
And so Ife then asks Oboz for another favor, and we see this in a new home for his family and a car. Again, Nosa complaining once more about how strange this all is and that she's nervous. Oboz is shady. What if her husband lands in jail? Blah blah blah. I mean, come on. What does this woman even want? Let's be real. But then Ife calms her down and asks her to trust him. And here, my people, our season 2 ends. And so guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe, share in your comments your thoughts, and then I'll see you in episode 3.